Hello, this is Pamis Tankur from Astro Weather Watch and pamistankur.com. And I would like to give you a brief overview of the year 2026 ahead. This is more an overview of the year 2026-27 starting from 20th of March 2026 till 21st of March 2027. But given that 21st of March, it's 20th of March itself is not very far away, you can consider it as an overview of 2026. So this would be a tough year for the world in general, a very tough year actually. Uh, in the first half, especially, let's say from February, so before March, we can start. So from February to early May of 2026, this is a period which will be marked by several disasters, earthquakes, big accidents, including some plane crashes. I expect a Boeing plane crash in this air time around March, April probably. April is a disastrous month, especially. So weather events like floodings, landslides, such things, and some deaths of important leaders and prominent personalities. All this is happening in the first half, especially February to early May. This period, yeah, February, March. First half of March is okay, but February and then second half of March and then April especially disastrous in the first few days of March. Um, so first half this is happening, and another second half on the disaster front is somewhat better, you can say, than the first half, at least relatively. But what it would see the second half of 2026 and early 2027 as well, or rather the first half of 2027. So basically 1 year, like mid-July 2026 to end of July 2027, would see a lot of violence, a lot of activism, a lot of separatist movements gaining ground, a lot of conflicts and increasing wars, a lot of terrorism, and again some plane crashes and deaths of prominent personalities in this period as well. So it would be a quite a violent period, very activist kind of period, strikes, protests, demonstrations. There might be some peaceful demonstrations as well, but basically overall people are in a power struggle all the time in different parts of the world in this period, and a lot of terrorism, separatist struggles, conflicts, military conflicts, wars. Some of the wars intensifying, some of the new wars starting as well. Some conflicts can also happen in the first half of 2026. Yeah, April especially. April, as I said, is a very April 2026 is a disastrous month. It's a month. It's a kind of month. It's a time period which I have rarely seen. It is at another level of disaster. Anyway, so some of the other key points about this year, I have, by the way, published a detailed post with detailed dates which are critical as well on pamistankur.com. So you can go there and have a idea there, more read more in detail with some lot of dates and everything which are difficult for different things, or which are good also sometimes for different places. But this is just a video with a brief overview. So, mainstream cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin could see a major crash in this year, especially after late January 2026. So, after late January 2026, this can happen anytime, and this could be a prolonged crash. Big crash could happen in cryptocurrencies. Um, then there could be strong development. This is a more longer term from April 2026 onwards till 2032-33. In this 6-7 year period, there will be strong developments in technologies in the following area, in some of the following areas. One is AI, of course, artificial intelligence, then overall telecommunications, and then mobility, transportation, exploration of space as well as some of the other planets, and warfare technology, drones, drone tech, and also anti-drone tech, that is drone defense. Yeah, so all this warfare technology, significant developments would happen. Aging, yeah, skincare, yeah, and quantum computing. So all these areas would I expect to see strong developments in 2026 to 2032-33. So this 6-7 year period. As far as AI is concerned, we focus on AI a little bit. Yeah, there would be strong developments. AI itself will be disruptive to our lifestyles furthermore as AI takes more and more central place in our lives. But at the same time, within the field of AI, there will be disruptions. Currently, as you know, it's is the LLMs which are for example, the Chat GPT and all these are very popular. But probably a paradigm shift will happen. Newer AI models will come, which will focus on a completely different way to reach AGI, artificial general intelligence. And what that would mean is that a big crash could happen in valuations, at least a temporary crash and a permanent crash in some cases, in valuations of quite a few firms which are exposed to the AI sector. So I expect in 2026 this AI bubble in terms of the valuation. AI is here to stay, but the valuations probably are very unreasonable, especially of some of the firms, especially in this AI sector, the ones especially which have been relying on LLMs. For example, OpenAI. So there would be, I expect to see a big crash, big burst in the AI bubble in terms of valuations. But at the same time, AI itself in this 2026, 2032, 33 period would develop strongly. But with newer companies or newer models and newer ways of reaching in the race to AGI. So that's one thing. And then, as I have already said probably before, you may have read it, or maybe I have said it in a video also, that there will be big developments for China and Russia in 2026-27. I expect China to make a move on Taiwan in 2026 or 27, most probably in spring 2026 itself. Russia would see the post-Putin era and would be a complete upheaval of Russia, because I expect Putin to fall soon in 26 or 2026 or 2027, maybe in 2026 itself. So, and it would be a big upheaval. Russia would go through a different arc of history once again. As for India, I have already said that 2026 and 27 would be very difficult years for India, economically especially, but also politically and in all kinds of ways, including weather-wise. Um, uh, Weather, by the way, there would be heavy precipitation now from now onwards. In 2026, would see strong precipitation in the world. A lot of flooding events, landslides, and major earthquakes would, of course, happen in 2026. Very big earthquakes can happen in 2026, really like mega quakes. Um, and overall weather, I expect the world actually to go through a global cooling cycle. You have heard of global warming cycle, but expect it to go through a global cooling cycle in 2026 to 2080 period, long period. And that is driven by extreme precipitation, including in the MENA region, the Middle East, North Africa region. I expect those regions to receive more and more rain, de-desertification to happen, which would completely change the climate models of the world, which would completely upend the climate of different places in the world. And this eventually would take us to a global cooling cycle. Of course, the effects will be felt not immediately, probably, but this would happen, yeah, quite fast. So instead of a global warming cycle, I predict a global cooling cycle in 2026 to 2080 period, especially 2026 to 2054. This would be significant precipitation in these years. Significant precipitation from 2026 to 2054. And we are entering 2026, so I expect really heavy precipitation to start, and many places which are not geared even for that, which probably do not receive enough rain, Europe, Middle East, North Africa, they would have to really suddenly change, suddenly adapt to it. And I hope they are able to adapt to it. I hope some of them, this video, such my words reach at least some of the people, and they are able to think ahead in time a little bit. What Nepal, I think, could have a strong earthquake in 2026 or 27, probably in 2026 itself. And of course, I would, before going to on to some dates, I would end with a warning that I have already said that 2029 to 2033, this period would probably see a great war. I do not like the words Third World War or something like that. I don't want to compare it to the two previous wars because I think this war would be very different. Would be fought in very different way. I think nuclear weapons also would be used. So anyway, so there would be a great and very destructive war in 2029 to 33 period, which would involve much of the world. And so I hope that, but this is nothing, this is not to do with 2026, but I just wanted to say this here because the world will be moving in that direction, conditions will be developing towards that war. So more and more localized conflicts will happen, more and more animosity will start between different regions and countries. People who incite hatred and provoke others would probably become popular, things like that. So the world is moving towards a great war, and people, yeah, those of you who are listening to this, or who are reading me at palmistankur.com or at Astro Weather Watch, they should gear up for it. Their lifestyles, where they want to live, where if they want to relocate, or how they want to invest, all these things they have to keep. They have to be careful about keeping this in mind, that there could be a big, a very big global war between 2029 and 2033. I mean, it could start in 2028 itself, and it could end probably even in 2034 rather than 33. Yeah, and after that, I foresee a nice, peaceful, golden period for the world after 2034. But that's the scenario for now, and it will be destructive war. So anyway, coming back to 2026, so the key months, April, as I already said, is a very disastrous month, but another month is February to 2026. A lot of accidents can happen in that month. A lot of other malefic incidents can also happen, of course. And again, August of 2026 is also a difficult month in general, but April, it's especially, is a disastrous month. And also a date range, I have included more date ranges in my post. You can go there, but because this date range is very near, so I'm mentioning it. January 28 to February 4 2026, so just some weeks away. So this period may see strong disasters and some important events also in the world, especially the dates of February 4 to 6. Yeah, these are very malefic dates. Some, yeah, so-called bad events can occur in this period. Some negative incidents can happen during this period. um, April, I have already mentioned, but I can say that, so the period from April 17 to 30, 17 to 30, April 17 to 30, 2026 may bring strong transportation accidents, including for journeys involving a Boeing plane. And it can also, and this period can also bring some communication technology issues, for example, outage of some major website or network, or some major cyber breach, or things like that. And riots and conflicts could also happen in this period. Some major business would also suffer during this period, the 17th to 30th of April, 17 to 30 April. Anyway, so yeah, you will find more dates in on my website, and given that this is till actually March 2027, this March 20th, 2027, I would also mention one key date range of 2027, which is early February 2027. So early February 2027 may see some terrorist incidents, and it could also have some negative incidents involving some Islamic land or community, or Muslim community. So anyway, you will find much more color on my website, a lot of critical dates for different things. Yeah. And usually my date ranges predictions they are quite famous actually, with many people, because they are very accurate. So, and you can test it for yourself, you can note them down and then see what happens later. So be safe, take prudent and wise decisions, and if you're not following me, you can follow me on my social media. On Twitter, you will find me with Ankur Writer. That's the hashtag. And otherwise, as you'll find me as Palmist Ankur on Instagram and other places, Blue Sky. On LinkedIn, I am there, but that is as my, but that will be more difficult to find probably. And yeah, of course, you can follow me on my websites, which is the best source, palmistankur.com and astroweatherwatch.com. astroweatherwatch.substack.com. Yeah, that one is on Substack. So parmistrankur.com or astroweatherwatch.substack.com. Thank you for listening. If you have been able to listen to the complete video, 15-minute long video, that's long for the attention span of many people these days, but if you have been able to, that's great. Bye bye.